and life. Here is the Brother Leon Show. You better recognize.
What's going on, listeners? This is your boy, Brother Leon. We have an exclusive interview today. Today, we are going to call and interview Dr. LaTarsha Holden. She is a phenomenal woman. I'm not going to lie. When I see this woman, I see Proverbs 31. And that's the God knows truth. Because the one thing I want you to know about Dr. LaTarsha Holden, she has overcome the odds. She is a trailblazer, she is a leader, and she's also a mother. And the one thing that I want you guys to understand and know is that her journey was a journey of overcoming. Her journey was a journey of progressing. Her journey was a journey of healing. And now God is using her to uplift the community and to also heal the community. So with that being said, guys, I want you to stay tuned. This is a good episode today. We're going to be calling Dr. LaTarsha Holden. She is the author of many books. One book is called No Longer Lost. Another book is called I'm Free to Be Me. And she also has a comic book, which is called The Light Shall Rule. So I'm going to give you those again. No Longer Lost, I'm Free to Be Me, and The Light Shall Rule. She was also Georgia's Mother of the Year 2020. She also has a doctorate degree in leadership studies. So guys, we're getting ready to call Dr. Holden now, and this is going to be a good episode. I can't wait to upload this so we can listen to it, put it all over Facebook and everything. So with that being said, let us call Dr. LaTarsha Holden.
Greetings, you have reached Dr. LaTarsha Holden. I'm very sorry I have missed.
Hey, Dr. LaTarsha Holden, how you doing this morning?
I'm well, yourself?
Oh, hold on a second. Let me get you in here. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, hold up. Here we go. Ooh, okay, here we go. Doctor, how you doing this morning? It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear yours. I am well this morning. How about yourself?
I can't complain. God has been good. He's still on the throne, and I'm on the other side. I'm still here on glory.
Awesome.
Amen. So I was telling the listeners, about just giving them a small introduction, and I was also telling them, I'm like, look, when I see Dr. Holden, I can't help but say, yo, she is that Proverbs 31 woman. I'm telling you, that's what I told the guys. I said, when you read Proverbs 31 and you look at Dr. Holden, she's like the mirror image of that. She's the virtuous woman. She's the classy woman. So I was telling them about your book and also how you're Mother of the Year and how you have a doctorate degree in leadership. So I'm so looking forward to this interview today. So Dr. Holden, I just want to say thank you. We honor you this morning for your work that you're doing in the community, but also, the work that you're doing in the body of Christ and everything. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. That means a lot to me. When I'm in a position where you're pouring out, whether to your children or to just the community and people, around the world, it's just good to hear sometimes a little pouring back to you. So I thank you for that.
Oh, hey, no problem. So Doc, tell us, who are you? Talk to us this morning.
Oh my goodness. That question always tickled me. You know what? I tell you, I'm just enjoying where I'm at. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Mother is sick. But you know what? In the last, it's 12 years now since my homeless journey. So in the last, but I think within 10 years, and then I go from 2007 to 2017 right fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? So for within 10 years, only by the grace of God. I mean, we became partners.
Mm-hmm.
But only by the grace of God, I went from being homeless in the streets of Atlanta at 35 years old. I was uneducated and underemployed with 6 children. So I went from being homeless to a city council candidate in the 2017 election here in Atlanta, from a GED to a doctorate in leadership studies, and became a 12-time published author within 10 years.
Wow. That's
It's
great.
been a journey.
Oh, yeah.
The mentorship part was the hardest thing I had to do, you know, That mentorship was no joke.
So Doc, let me ask you this. When did you get born again? Because I know you've been walking with God for a while now.
But see, that's the thing. I wasn't raised in the church. So I got born again back in 1996. But since I wasn't raised in the church, you know, I gave my life to Christ. I was just someone who gave their life to Christ. I'm just going to be honest. We didn't really, our relationship didn't build until my homeless situation. That's when God and I began to know each other. You know, so I learned that you can give your life to Christ, but don't do the work to become a disciple of Christ. And so for me, I didn't know it was no work involved. I just thought you give your life to Him, and you be nice and love everybody, and you sing Kumbaya, and that's it. But I had to learn otherwise. That you have to be tested through the fire in order to be used by God.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right about that. I know you. I know one thing. I know you learned the voice of the Holy Spirit. I know that.
What you talking about?
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Learn. It was a hard one, but I learned it. Yes, yes. The last 12 years have definitely been a spiritual training ground for me.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this about your call in ministry. When did you acknowledge and accept the call into ministry?
Well, I knew something was different about me since I was a little girl. I always been for the underdog, the outcast, the rejected, the ones that were set alone in the corner in the classroom. So I knew I had a double dose of empathy for others and love and compassion. If you talk to my sister, anybody know me, so that's what she's been since she was little. And so, like I said, you know, when I started Bible college in 2007 when we was homeless, you know, I thought, you know, I had to grow up. That's when I grew up as a woman then, because I'm thinking, oh, good, I'm going to go to college, the Bible college, and everybody loves Jesus, you know. And I got there and had to learn, okay, these are regular folks, and the same mess is out there. But when I gave my life to Him, like I said, in 1996, I'm doing ministry. Everything I was doing when I was homeless, I'm looking for ways to serve. Whether I'm teaching my children about leadership, and we didn't have anything, I'm looking for ways to serve. And one day I started a dreams and vision of me preaching and speaking around the world. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm homeless, uneducated, nobody knows me, but the world for office. I was a statistic upon statistic. I mean, from a high school dropout in 10th grade, 4 kids by 22, 35 homeless, uneducated. So I'm like, but when I started noticing my heart for people, and that's when I realized that I was called into ministry. I got ordained into ministry in 2011.
Wow. So let me ask you this: was it hard? Was it hard doing ministry and working through college and you know, trying to juggle, you know, your studies and juggle family life and raising the kids? Was that hard?
You know, I would say yes, because at this point, this is when my training grounds began, Leon. This is when, as a leader, I didn't set out to be a leader. I didn't set out to do great things. I didn't set out to overcome. Originally I set out to deliver my 6 children, my black children, from the streets and the jail system. Yeah. That was what I set out to. In 2007, when I found myself homeless, living in a boarded house as squatters, I made a vow that the streets was not going to raise my 6 children, nor the jails will house them. Now, for me, being an uneducated black woman in Atlanta that's homeless at 35 years old, you pretty much, that's a age where you don't kind of live a little bit, and so your mindset is kind of stuck. So for me, that was the beginning of my training ground. So that began a ministry. My first ministry lesson, I taught my 6 children, and this is how I saved them, because I believe ministry starts at home. But I came to my 6 children 12 years ago. I said, well, I had 2 kids in high school, 2 kids in middle school, 2 kids in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Leon, to be honest with you, I was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
We was home, and I'm coming to my children. And I'm saying, well, if I can teach you all how to get back, I'm thinking of legacy and suicide at the same time. Now,
Wow.
remember, this is the beginning of my journey. I didn't know God.
Uh-huh.
I gave my life to Christ, but I didn't know him in a personal way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm contemplating suicide. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do for my children? How can I leave something for them? And I went to them. I said, well, I'm shaking because I'm being vulnerable to them. I'm letting myself, my kids, come on, what kids, they want stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm teaching them is legacy. I said, well, if I could teach you all how to give back, that I don't have anything materially to offer you all. I said, the only thing I have to offer you all is to love you unconditionally and to show you how to serve as your Lord. And the older boy was like, what are you talking about? We don't have anything. How are we going to help people? And I'm like, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, okay. I said, this is the only thing I have to give you all. So I showed them how to give back. I got the newspaper articles. We did events in the community, starting around Hurricane Katrina time.
Mm-hmm.
And Leon, to be honest with you, I did not know my kids were paying me no attention because they grumbled and complained. We was homeless 3.5, 4 years.
Wow.
So we was homeless when I went into college and 2 years when I was in undergrad. So homelessness, we talking about shelter cars, abandoned house, squatters, scraping up money for a hotel. And then every now and then I would live with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about the pull of the stress.
Yeah.
When I showed my 6 children how to give back, Leon, and people all and how so this is ministry for me. I say them first. And so by me showing them how to give back by doing events, loving on other people who were going through hard times, they turned around. My oldest son came to me and said, Mother, my way of giving back is by joining the United States Marine Corps. He did 10.5 years in Marines.
Mm-hmm.
He retired. Now he's a second-year college student, pursuing a bachelor's in business. Our daughter said, this is my way of giving back by going to the medical field. She's an EMT, a licensed pharmacy tech, and she's in college pursuing her bachelor's in human services. Another daughter said, well, Mama, what you showed me, my way of giving back is going to the human service field. She just graduated in May with her bachelor's in human services. She joined the United States Army 2 years ago. She's continuing to serve in her country.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter who was 19 became a 2-time Christian published author by the time she was 16.
Wow.
Now she's a 3-time published author. She just released her children's book as Took Off.
Mm-hmm.
She has 2 clothing brands. And then one of my sons is a caretaker, and my youngest son, Leon.
Yes.
My youngest son. His name is Omega. That's the last to end. There is no more coming after him. Omega will be, yes sir, that's it. Omega will be 18 in 2 weeks. So Leon, I'm telling him, don't be happy when you turn 18. I'm popping my bottle of champagne because I have successfully raised his kids in the midst of adversity.
Yes.
And taught them leadership.
Yes.
And so for me, that's when ministry started for me.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. I know the devil was talking to you. I know, spirit of condemnation and guilt and everything. How did you manage to work through that frustration? For all that time?
Right. He was talking to me.
Yeah.
It got so badly here. I'm an ordained minister. I often pose the question, what happens when your struggle outlasts your strength?
Yeah.
Because see, we can go through something for 2 months, maybe a couple of weeks, but what happens when it becomes years?
Yeah.
So for me, you got to think about, I got to keep myself sane. 6
Mm-hmm.
other people motivated enough, the high school kids from jails and, just their surroundings. The journey got so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into a hospital in Riverdale, Georgia. I told the lady at the desk, I said, ma'am, I don't think I can do this anymore. She looked at my face and she said, ma'am, are you saying you want to commit suicide? I said, yes, ma'am, that's what I'm saying. I was so embarrassed that no matter how hard I was trying, nothing like it was breaking. And so they kept me for a week for observation. Mm-hmm. But Leon, this is where God and I met each other.
Mm-hmm.
On that floor that they kept me on, they had a padded room for those who are danger to themselves or others. And I asked the lady, I said, ma'am, can I go into that room? She said, ma'am, you're no threat to anybody. That's for people. I said, I know it, ma'am, but I need to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there every day for the week I was there. And I remember dropping down to my knees, cry, God, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Please help me. I don't have anything. I don't know what to do. Leon, when they released me after a week and they realized I wasn't a threat to anyone, my situation did not immediately change, but I knew something was different.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, I had matriculated through college with my associates, my bachelor's, my MBA. But when I got accepted to the PhD program for leadership studies, now I did want to bungee jump up to heaven and high five the man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was, the journey just got that bad. You know, I mean, I'm born and raised here in Atlanta. My family is here. No one would help. No one really saw. I mean, I was homeless, so to them it was like, what is she trying to do? That girl trying to do this, trying to do.
Yeah.
No one saw what God was doing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't homeless because of drugs or drinking. I was homeless because of abusive marriage ended after 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when that marriage came to an end, my mental state, because of the emotional and mental abuse, and sometimes physical, it just messed me up.
Wow.
So for me, yeah, the devil was talking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you laughing, and if you got people laughing, nobody, and you see your kids, you know, looking at you like, "Why good? You're a good person. Why we can? You can't answer their question no matter how hard you're trying."
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said the devil telling me your kids be better off without you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a loser. Nobody, you know, and so that's what made me like, man, I might as well just try to, you know, I guess my life is worthless. And so that's what made me go to the hospital and say, no, I don't want to live anymore.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm so glad you say yes to God, because you have a phenomenal testimony. I'm serious. You overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of your testimony. And you know, can you describe to us, you know, that determination? Because I mean, you just overcame the odds. You overcame abuse. You overcame, you know, homelessness. Even in the midst of the struggle, you found faith. So, you know, I just want to commend you on that. So, you know, what was the straw that broke the camel's back that made you say, look, I'm not going to give up here?
I think for me, when we was living in that board up house,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew at that point, no one was coming to save us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no one was coming, and I knew it was up to me to liberate my family.
Mm-hmm.
And to change the trajectory of our life. Now, again, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had dropped out in the 10th grade, so going back to college really wasn't the top of my list. Let me tell you how I got to school.
Mm-hmm.
When I started having the dream division of me preaching and speaking around the world, I went to church one Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady, Mary Parker, she's a well-known, very successful businesswoman here. I didn't know it at the time. But when she came off the pulpit, I went up to her, and I was telling her, you know, I'm having these dreams and visions of me speaking and preaching around the world, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the God unto. I thought the lady was going to tell me this. I thought she was going to tell me, baby, go on over there to that ministry class, and God is going to work it out, and join a ministry class, and, you know, you're ordained. She didn't say that. She asked me, well, she ministered to me for a couple of minutes. Then she said, did you finish school? Oh, my God. I'm 35 years old. I'm like, what the world? I'm like, no. She said, you probably want to start there.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad and hotter than fish grease. I'm not thinking about going to, no, I'm just going to be honest. I'm keeping it real with the people.
Yeah.
I was not thinking about going to no freaking college.
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old, homeless with children. Lady, the last time I've been to anyone's school, I was 15 years old. And so I went home to that board up house, and I started crying. I'm pacing the floor. I'm like, oh, my God, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I think a week later, I went to Beulah. She gave me a school. I said, well, you know, reluctantly, I'm like, oh, well, do you have a school you could recommend? You know, and the inside, I was mad as I don't know what. She's like, yeah, why don't you try Beulah Heights Bible College? It's a university now, but back then it was Bible college.
Okay.
So a week later, I went in shaking like a leaf, Got my little application. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And that's how my college journey started. But it wasn't because I just, let me go to no. That when she posed that question to me, you know, and so that's where when I was in that board up house, that when I realized no one was helping us.
Yeah.
No, I had, and so that was the thing that broke the camel's back. I'm like, I got 12 eyes watching me.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world am I going to change this? My mindset was one of a poverty mindset. Because I'm 35 years old, I lived a defeated life most of my life.
Yeah.
You know, so the mentorship was almost unbearable. I thought God was trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep... To go from looking at yourself, dropped out of school and you got 6 kids, to go to change my mindset to, I'm just a woman, I had all these kids. And I was married, that's how I had kids, but, I don't know, this is, and then God is showing me in vision and dream how He see me. I went kicking and screaming. I didn't go, I know a couple of times I took a test over, because I did not want, that was not an easy thing for me to see. Me, a college graduate, let alone a doctor, let alone run for city council, So that was what that was it. That was my breaking point.
Wow. So I mean, the crazy part is, it's almost like when God starts showing you stuff, you was like, man, Lord, I don't see how it's going to happen, but God, He knows the beginning from the end, and the crazy part is that we have to trust God for the middle. You know what I mean? And,
that's it.
It's like, okay, Lord, here's the beginning. You talking about the end. What we going to do in the middle?
But see, that's the scary part.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of people give up when I'm ministering, when I'm figuring out, a lot of people give up because we think when God will show us a vision. All right, God, I'm going to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens what if you got struggle the first 5 years?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. We think it's overnight. We think success is overnight. No.
Mm-hmm.
Had God told me back then, well, look, you're going to be homeless for about 4 years. Nobody's going to help you. You're going to have a mental breakdown, check yourself into a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
But in 12 years, you're going to be National Mother of the Year, making U.S. If you keep going and trusting me, daughter. He told me what I had to go through to be where I'm at today. I would have tried other routes. I would have tried to do stuff on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I would have tried to but that's why the journey was so hard. Trusting Him, and a lot of times He was silent
Mm-hmm.
as I was going through the test.
Wow. So that's the hard thing that people have a hard time with when God is silent. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
When I was a kid, when I was a kid, I didn't like my parents. They rarely with us because it was 3 girls.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, my dad, like, do you want punishment or punishment? And my thing was, just get because I couldn't stand the silence. Because my mom would give you the silent treatment. I'm like, lady, just whoop me. Because the silent treatment is like, oh my God. So when God is silent and you're praying and crying, and God is not, and I thank Him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trying to, God help me, I'm doing right. Had He rescued me earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I would not have been equipped to do and be who I am today. There was no, had He got me off the potter's wheel because I'm crying and begging and help and plead, had He done that, there's no way. I would have reverted back to an old way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I reverted back. I'm just being honest. We think He's not listening. We think He's being mean. We think He's not loving us. But the same way we chastise our children, that's all He's doing. Daughter, where I'm taking you, I got to get, it's 35 years, you don't believe the lies of the world.
Yeah.
35 years, I got to prune off your negative mindset. 35 years, you've been undisciplined. You've been a woman that didn't manage time wisely. You've been a woman that's been disorganized.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to burn all that stuff off me. And I tell you, and it felt like it was one of the pain. Working my way up from rock bottom
Mm-hmm.
was one of the painful things I ever had to experience.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Let's fast forward. What was it like when you finally was able to have a place of your own? What was that like?
Oh my goodness. Well, how the homeless ended, we family housing after two and a half years of college. Family housing finally came available on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So by that time, my oldest son had went off to the Marines. The kids are getting a little older. It was a sigh of relief. Matter of fact, the shelter that we stayed at, during 3.5, 4 years we was homeless, we stayed at only one shelter for 3 months.
Okay.
And I had the honor to go back about a month ago to present to them $1,000 donation so they could continue the work that they was doing. It's 12 years later. And for me, for God to allow me the opportunity, I just never forgot them. I've met other people within 12 years, who got non-profit organ, but I never forgot the organization that was there during my time of darkness.
Yeah.
So when I got my place, I just started looking for ways. Now I liberated my family. How can I go and fight for others? I made another vow. God, if you deliver me out of homelessness and hopelessness, I go back and fight for others.
Wow.
Which led me to run for city council in 2017. A lot of people say, "Oh, people come home and think about running on public," but I had been through the fire at that point. When I came into this, this battlefield back in 2007, as a homeless woman broke down, I was born to fight. But baby, by the time I came out of that I was during the rock. And after a while, I was stood up straight. I knew I had a moral duty to go back and try to fight for others.
Yes.
So I ran for city council to fight for the homeless, more affordable housing, and so that's what it was about for me. And that's what it has always been, no matter when I write books, that's the reason why I write my book. That's the reason why I released a Christian comic book done in June of this year, trying to find a way to motivate, encourage, and inspire others along their journey.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. So let me ask you this about your campaign. What was the theme of your campaign and everything? Because I mean, you just like, hey, look, I can do this for everybody. So what was the campaign trail like?
Well, the main thing was affordable housing. I was definitely there to stand with affordable housing and bringing a job center to the area, District 11, that I was running in. So it was interesting. I ran for District 11 in the city of Atlanta, which is the biggest district in Atlanta. Matter of fact, our now Mayor Bottoms vacated that seat to run for mayor.
Okay.
So for me, it was a big race. She's on one side of her team campaigning, I'm on one side of my kids and grandkids. So although I did not win that seat, it was 8 of us in the race. I was the underdog. Everybody else was connected. They knew people. They had the full work, the endorsements, campaign managers.
Yeah.
I was the only one that didn't have that. I didn't know nobody. I'm coming from rock bottom. But I tell you, for that district, you need to have raised to make your presence known, 20,000 to 50,000. I only raised about 1,500, 2,000. I didn't have a campaign manager. I didn't have any endorsement. But my message was so powerful that the lady who had the full work, she had $50,000. She had the campaign manager. She was connected with groups. She only beat me to the runoff by 400 votes.
Wow.
Had my family, because no one came and helped me in my campaign. Oh, but people don't know you was homeless. You're going to make us look bad. So family members didn't help. But at that point, I had learned how to stand in the midst of adversity. I had learned how to stand alone, so it did not bother me. I had my children, grandchildren, and a couple of friends helping me campaign. But it was a win for me. When I look at the pictures and see my grandchildren holding up signs out there campaigning with me, it was a win for me. But so I definitely enjoyed that run. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You think about you might do it in the future? Because I see that for you.
I've been asked that now that my name is out there more and people know me now. I'm waiting on God. I hate to do stuff just because I want to do it. I've learned that it don't kind of go over well.
Yeah.
So my aspiration now, before COVID, was to travel the world as an inspirational speaker. But that's definitely, if God has that in my future plans, I definitely would get on a ticket.
Okay.
So I'm excited whichever route he takes me.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for you. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about some of your books. What was that book, your book, No Longer Lost? If you can explain that one to us.
Yeah, well, No Longer Lost is my life story.
Okay.
So when it came out, half of the stuff, so I'm going to have to probably end up doing another one, something else, because about the time that came out in 2015, I had ran for office, I had it, by that I had only wrote that one book. So after that, I wrote 11 more books within the next year.
Wow.
Year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a definite lot has taken place. So no longer lost. And then I wrote 4 children's books because now I'm doing a holistic approach.
Okay.
I want to reach the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So my way of reaching the whole family was, okay, I wrote my life story. Now let me write 4 children's books that's going to touch the children in the family to teach them kindness and diversity and friendship. Then now let me reach the youth in the family that's middle school, 11 to 13, 14-year-olds, to teach, and I wrote a youth series, a 4-part youth series, sex trafficking, teen dating violence, bullying, love and forgiveness. Then I wrote a book for ministry called The Crucible. Then I wrote a poetry book. Then I wrote a 60-page, now I'm trying to reach the moms and dads. So I wrote a 60-page workbook training manual that I'm getting to organizations where now I wrote based on the 7 pillars that I put into place to start my mentorship. And so all of my books, I try to do a holistic approach, touch each child and each person in a household. So you got the little kids, the middle school kids, the moms and dads, and those who are in ministry. And so, and when COVID hit and everything, I started getting, on interviews and people asking me, Dr. Holden, how can you encourage people during this time? Because this is a shake-up for a lot of people. The world is shaking up.
Yeah.
We're on lockdown. And so I said, man, how can I send a positive message in a creative way to encourage others? And so I created a Christian comic book titled The Light Share Rule.
Yeah.
To let people know God is with us on our journey. And so I'm excited about that. It came out in June of this year. And so that's just another way I'm sending out a positive message to encourage others.
Wow, that's great. I'm serious. I see that becoming a cartoon. I'm serious. That definitely worked. That definitely worked. I'm telling you, Doc, you got it. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about your journey into your doctorate. Can you unpack that for us?
Well, it's interesting when I got accepted into the PhD program for leadership studies. A year in, I got a call to the office, and the dean over the program, he said, LaTarsha, I got some bad news. He said, all your money has ran out. You've been in school 10 years, and he said your money's ran out. He said, but the good thing about it is you got 240, 50 some credit hours. Whatever you're trying to do, you can do with that. And I walked out. He said you won't be able to finish the PhD program. And I walked out with my head hung low. I'm like, God, I gave him my bed. 6 months later, God honest truth, I'm at the hair salon. I get a call. Can I speak to Dr. Holden? I said, oh, no, sir. I didn't finish the PhD program. He said, Dr. Holden. This is Dr. Carlton Davis, president of Theological Institute Seminary, G. Moore Theological Institute Seminary. He said, let me ask you a couple of questions. He said, is it true, I saw the newspaper articles, that when you didn't have anything, you taught those 6 children how to give back and show them leadership and how to serve others? I said, yes, sir. He said, is it true that you also taught those 6 children how to be leaders and they're now serving in their community? I said, yes, sir. He said, is it also true that you're running for city council after you just came out of homelessness? I said, yes, sir. And he said, is it also true that you are a published author and inspiring people around the world? I said, yes, sir. He said, Dr. Holden, we're not giving you anything. You have earned. He said, you became your own dissertation, Dr. Holden.
Wow.
He said, we could have people sit in classroom and do a paper on a certain subject, but you was getting your PhD in leadership studies. He said, we're not giving you anything. I want to let you know, congratulations, that you have earned your doctorate. And I'm at the hairdresser, I came over up on the dryer, I'm crying, dropped to my knees. God, he's like, he said, God has favored you. He said, but you have went through.
Yeah.
And then you led 6 other people. That's leadership. That can't be taught in a study. That can't be taught by someone. You have actually lived experiences. And now you're running for city council to go back. He said, you have exemplified leadership.
Yes.
So as of today, you're Dr. LaTarsha Holden. And, I was running for office. So I couldn't go to the graduation they had up north.
Mm-hmm.
They mailed me my degree.
Wow.
He said, you have exemplified leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And, so for me, only God can do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're so right. I'm serious. God opened up a door. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord.
I didn't know these people. Yeah, but he said they've been watching me for years.
Uh-huh. See, that's what it is. I mean, you don't know who's watching you.
You don't know who's watching.
Yeah. I am so glad that you maintained your integrity and that you kept it moving because, sometimes when people think that nobody's watching, that's when they fall off. So I applaud you for that. That's the God knows truth. So, whew, man.
Yeah, but the year I was in the PhD program, year, you don't have a life. The amount of reading that you have to do, and that program, your life stops. I think I gained 15 pounds. Because all thing I had was a snack table by my chair and read, But I was tired. I had did a lot and God knew what my body. I was tired. And I wasn't gonna give up. I was gonna push through. And I think God did that for me because He knew me. He was calling me into other stuff, city council and write author and as speaker. Yeah. But He knew I had went as far that He wanted me to go far as just being in a school classroom. And I thank Him for that. That He's, only God could have done that for somebody. Yeah,
you're definitely right about that. So let me ask you this, Doc. What was, when God started, doors started opening and everything like that, what was the healing process like? Because I know, you came through insurmountable odds and God had to heal your heart over some things and He had to just, restore you and renew your mind to certain things. What was that like?
You know what? And He's still healing. I've been on that journey. We're talking about a 12-year process. So I've been out of homelessness since 2010. So we're talking about the last 10 years. But I just turned 48 in June. So my mind, matter of fact, this is an example to that about the residue. There's some residue still left over. Because I still have to encourage myself. I'm still changing my mindset. Just because God starts giving you, blessing you, you still have to do the work to to keep your mind, that mental shift going in a positive direction. When I was running for office, this is just an example of how the residue affected me. When I was running for office in 2017, I got a call from my son. He was stationed in Tennessee. And he got real serious on the phone. I didn't know it was a problem, that I needed to rush down there. And he was like, "Mother, would you do me the honors of coming to Tennessee and pinning me at my ceremony to Staff Sergeant Holden?" Leon, I say that's one of the best phone calls I ever received. But this was my response to him. Because the residue was still there. Yeah. You really want me to do it? Because I'm thinking you're going to call somebody who had the money, who didn't struggle, my sisters, my mom. I'm like, I was like, you really want me? I can't believe you're calling me. He said, Mom, who else would I call? Yeah. He said, had it not been for you, where would we be? Yeah. He said, you could have did anything. You're a nice looking lady. You could have gave us up. You could have started on drugs. You could have started drinking. You could have started partying and broke up. He said, you kept everybody together. Yeah. He said, you're the reason why I made it through the Marine boot camp and made it through the Marine. Would you do me the honor? And I tell you, that was the best drive to Tennessee to PM at that ceremony I've ever experienced. Wow,
that's great. I'm serious. I'm getting filled up just hearing it. I'm serious. That's great. I'm serious. I mean, oh my God. So let me ask you this, because I know it's a whole lot of women. Some of them they feel that hopelessness, and some of them are feeling like I gotta use people. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta get over on some of these dudes. So, just to make it. You didn't do none of that. And
I didn't.
And you are, you are the example of possibility that you don't have to use or manipulate people. So, how is it that you have, maintained your integrity, you kept it classy, because every time I look at you, I'm like, man, she is classy all the way. And that's the God knows truth. So, how is it that, some of these young girls today, with all the stuff that's going on in the media and some of the things that's being portrayed on TV, how is it that, some of our young girls can learn from you? How to maintain a family, how to keep it. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm gonna be real. I'm a very transparent, and I think that's why people just love me. Now, I'm a woman, so thoughts came to my mind.
Yeah.
I knew I had a decent looking body. I called one of my friends one day in the early beginning stage of the homelessness, and I called my friend. I said, "Girl," I said, "I don't know. I might go dance." Because when you're in a situation, you don't know what thoughts will come to your mind. And she just laughed at me. She said they would eat you up and down. You'll be trying to make friends with everybody. And I say, no. She said, you're a delegate, not you. And at that point, we just laughed. And but we don't know what thoughts will cross our mind.
Yeah.
I just knew that one thing I did, especially when I started running for office and, and meeting people that wanted to date me for other reasons, thinking, hey, if we go out, I know this person. And which they did. They had the connection. And I said, no. I said, it's been me and God all this time. It's going to be God and I to the wheels fall off. I said, because one thing I learned from my journey, how you start a thing is how you're going to have to end it.
I'm so glad you said that.
I knew I'm not going to sleep with nobody to get ahead, because then that's like me turning my back on my man, my God. That's like saying you can't do it for me.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be able to get me to the next. So and that's what made my journey. My son always joked about, you didn't. I said, because I knew I want to be able to hold my head up when I come out into the professional world. I want to be able to. Nobody said she slept around. When we was home, if I didn't have it, I just didn't have it. I just went without. And I think as a leader, I'm in the process of writing a book now on leadership, the power of personal development. You have to have morals that you're just not willing to compromise.
Yes.
And I wasn't willing to compromise myself to get ahead when God had already been showing me that He was with me. That's just me. I just knew if I started sleeping around to get ahead, to get a couple of bucks, then I'm gonna have to continue to do that to. And I just didn't want to go down that route. I'm like, no.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
I told my kids that we got to struggle. We just going to have to struggle. I told myself, hey, you ain't got it, you just ain't got it. And it was hard.
Yeah.
I think, I'm going to be honest, thoughts come to your mind. But I think if you have, and the young people today, my heart goes out to them, because media, entertainment, is sending a message to our young girls, even some women, that if you're not sexy, if you're not naked, if you're not half naked, you can't get nowhere in life.
Exactly.
And so for me, my kids will tell you, my mom, we've never seen my mom hanging out in the streets. We've never seen her party. She don't have guys running in at her house. And that's one. That's one thing I pride myself. I think you got to have some morals. Not to say I wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
I got a number or two, have a friend I call. I'm just keeping it real, but not to where you just, I'm going to just, hey, I'm homeless, I'm struggling, I'm living in a shelter. No. I didn't talk to no guy. And then another reason, when you're in that vulnerable position, I had to think of my kids.
Yeah.
I had to think, I'm just going to be on my kids' safety.
Yeah.
Because I know me. You touch one of mine, I am willing to do the time. I can't picture me walking around, you walking around, and we over here crying to her because you don't touch one. We all gonna be hurt. You, me, and everybody else. And, so I said, well, if I hurt one of these dudes, let me wait till my kids get grown, before I really start dating and stuff. But you have to, at that point, it wasn't about me. My kids' safety was my number one priority. And so that helped me, too, to keep my morals and standards with not going out, getting myself into trouble or doing things I regret later in life.
Wow, that's great. So let me ask you this. What's it like raising girls? Because I'm not going to lie. I was like, Lord, I'd rather raise boys than to raise girls.
know what? Since I got 3 of each, it's okay. The girls, I think sometimes I brought them up in a environment where they could tell me anything. And now since everybody's grown, I think they tell me a little too much. I was like, look, honey, that's back in my day. We didn't tell my mama some of that stuff. Now they just, free. Oh, mama, let me tell my, oh, girl, So, but the respect is there. I think for me, I don't know who that I'm feeling led to say this. My kids know the level of respect as a parent is still there. So my older kids are from 26 to 31.
Wow.
And then I have a 19, and my son's going to be 18. I don't play with my kids. I don't. We laugh and joke, but when it's going to cross that parental line, I tell my kids I don't go. Mom, you want to go out? We could go out. The girls might call me. Have a drink. Drink. I don't drink, but if I did drink, why would I be going with you?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I maintain. No, ma'am. You're not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I think as a parent, I'm not trying to be your friend. You're not my friend. And if they get a little too friendly with me, because we having a good time, we laugh, and I stop and look at them, and they look at me, I say, oh, we don't do that. We don't, and everybody get back on track. But I think people are not on track. Our kids don't need us to be their friends. They need parents. They need, hey, this is how we're going to roll. This is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Even now, if they get a little beside themselves, I have to tell I even have to, whoever's listening, you even have to, first of all, thank you, Holy Spirit. I used to feel bad. Oh, Lord, I didn't have it to give my kids when I first came out of homelessness, or in the middle, I get on my last $20, I want to make up, I'm feeling, now, I don't do that. I don't have to kiss your butt. I kept you safe. I kept you protected.
Yeah.
And I gave you unconditional love. So as a parent, I had to get to a point where I don't have to try to keep making up for what we didn't have. I gave you the most important thing that I had to give.
Yeah.
And that was to love you unconditionally and to protect you.
I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry. I'm glad you said that. Sorry. I'm sorry. And go ahead, because what I want to ask you is, I want to ask you this, but go ahead, finish saying what you were saying, and I'll just chime in on you.
No, and so what kids would do, kids would play on you too.
Yeah.
When they get grown, when somebody's listening, you feel like you got to make up to the kids. No, you don't. When you did all you can do with what you had, that was good enough.
Exactly.
And I don't, where I used to try to, give them a laugh or act like, or just kind of be a little salty a little bit, because I felt like and then kids know how to play on you. So if they feel they can go that way with you, they will run it till they can't run it no more. Yeah. And it just had to come to a time I said, no more. My answer is no. I'm not going to babysit. Well, Mama, you ain't doing that but probably reading a book. Do you know how hard, lady, it took for me to sit over here to read a book with my leg popped out? I thought of. I said no. And you have to be stern. And now everybody's all good. Don't mess with Mama, and she won't mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't mess with me, and I won't mess with you. And I think you have to have boundaries. Yeah. Whether if you was a dad that wasn't there, but you try to come back around and make up, maybe you got in trouble with the law. I've never said this before, so I'm just gonna let it speak. But you're trying to come back. Your kids didn't know you. I didn't have. Maybe you went through something as a child and. You didn't know how to be a parent, but now you're trying to come back around, maybe they're teenagers at middle school, and they give you all you got to do. Let them kids know I'm here for you. You go my number, because what kids will do, they will play on where you wasn't there. They will play on when you didn't have much, but if you're really trying to come back and you're showing them, look, I love you, I messed up, I want to be in your life, and they just want to give you this run around, kids will run you. I say, look, okay. Here go my number. You want to talk to me? And I'm just saying, I've never said this before, so I guess Spirit wanted somebody who might be feeling like, man, I'm trying to make it right with my kids. No, kids are little people, and they would play you just like big people will. They know how to play your weaknesses too, but just be who you are. We all make mistakes. I wasn't perfect. My kids saw me depressed. There was times I didn't come out the bedroom. They knew I was in a hospital for one thoughts of suicide for a week. But one thing they didn't see that I gave up.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to let our kids know that we are human. We go through the same. Because guess what? My kids that are going on now, they call me Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you right. I ain't know life gonna be like this. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I tried. See, when you was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and you had all these suggestions how I should do stuff.
Yeah.
Now that you're grown, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
no stuff. I try to tell you. That's why I try to tell you. I just know God for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my kids now. Oh my God, they definitely see it from an adult point of view. Because I was like, yeah, wait till you start grocery shopping.
Exactly.
You know, how come we can't get this? How come we can't? I'm like, because we ain't got the money for it right now.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And you can make me feel bad. Now my daughter and mama, when we didn't have money, and and you used to tell us to go out. Because I used to say, somebody go put $3 in a tank.
Mm-hmm.
And they all arguing in the car. And I ain't going out. Mama got $3 change to make her look bad. My daughter called me now. And when my money get low, I just got $3. I go in there proud and put it on the counter. Give me three on three. You know, she said,
yeah.
The struggle has made us more grateful for the small things now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, well, we're not embarrassed because we're busy there. Like, give me 3 on 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I said, and now they seen it. Oh, life ain't like I thought it was gonna be. I trying to tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what you'll go through when you get grown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think the crazy part is that when your kids come back to you and they say, you know what, Mom, I was wrong. You know what, Dad, I was wrong.
Exactly.
I'm like, tried to tell you, but you ain't want to listen.
You want to listen? Try to tell you.
Yeah.
Baby, if it was that easy, we'll all be doing that.
Exactly.
Even my son, when he went through his divorce,
mm-hmm.
He was like, I didn't know you can, you know. I say, see, that's why I'm like to teach y'all, don't look down on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
When you got married, you didn't know you was going to be divorced. None of us set out to be homeless, divorced, job loss,
mm-hmm.
or you got fired. You know, you don't know. Come on, well, one thing we all have about Mom, we was able to see you
mm-hmm.
go through, have raw emotions. We was able to see you. Yeah, you could be down for a minute, but get back up. So they was like, you kind of taught us how to live. Yeah. I said, well, thank you, Lord. They finally seeing it now.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And so for them, it's a bit different when life started to hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And they feeling the weight of it. I said, that's why I tell you, get to know God for yourself.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you ever feel like, let me hurry up and bail them out? Because I know sometimes parents, they want to rush to say their kids, but sometimes you got to let them go through stuff so they can grow.
You know, I especially my 19-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She, because she became like my mentee.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started speaking out in the community as a community advocate, I would take her and I started grooming her how to be a speaker, how to handle business. And so she had got so used to my hands-on, being a mentee to her, even though I'm her mother. So it's almost how they say if you're close to the pastor or something, the anointing, it can fall, it hits right. So she was used to me pouring. I mean, she was getting full.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she became successful now.
Mm-hmm.
But she joined the United States Army last year.
Wow.
And she went in boot camp and she got hurt, so she wasn't able to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So when she came home, she was expecting me to still have all this little kid love, and I said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not running you around every day.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do now is I had to kind of cut back
mm-hmm.
to show her time to grow up now.
Yeah.
Because she wanted that hands-on when she was 15, 12, 13. I'm like, no, I got to like to be a man, so grown.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would assist you.
Mm-hmm.
But but her mentality, she was mad for about a couple of months. She wouldn't stay with my daughter and stayed up and watch. Mama ain't the same no more. Then she came back, hey, Mama, I miss you. I said, yeah, no. I'm trying to teach you for the real life.
Yeah.
I'm not going to always be here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I cut the cord a little bit so she can grow, that's when she came out with 2 t-shirt lines. So I had already deposited in her, and I wanted to show her everything you need is already there.
Wow.
I just had to pull it back
mm-hmm.
so you can see. Now, she got that children's book. it came out 2 months ago, and the orders that we're mailing out every day, 20, 30 orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, now I want you to see the power has always been within all of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for you. So yeah, and then sometimes I pull out, like for instance, she had a customer that did her, she had a lady that did her t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the car while she went and got a t-shirt, but I saw my daughter wasn't looking like she liked what the lady did. And I wasn't going to get out of the car, I said, well, she got to learn. So when she got in the car, I said, why you was looking like that? Let me see the t-shirt. When I saw the t-shirt, I'm like, golly. Man, this is some jacked up stuff. And then at that point, I had to go bail her out because I saw the lady was trying to talk her out of, well, I did this, this is the best I could do, this what you said. I saw the conversation kind of going outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to kind of step up, and then exert a little authority, because I knew she was 19, the lady was trying to get over on her.
Yeah.
And I had to call the lady myself, and I had to come to a resolution but other than that, I tried to let them learn, but we had to get that lady some good money. And I said, we're not going to walk away with this junk, and she paid. And so at that point, she said, yeah, Mama, because I was trying to talk to her, let her know I wasn't really pleased, but she kept giving me the run around, she'll do the work, and this. I'm like, but this stuff like a kindergarten. She just did whatever she wanted. And so it's times I think you have to bail them out a little bit.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm like, nah, you ain't gonna rip off my child.
Exactly.
I'm like, you better than me. I've been like, man, please.
I saw that child. I had to call that lady. Then I had to get into Dr. Holden mode.
Mm-hmm.
Lady, you did not want me to post these pictures on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
And give you a review. And I came to her in a respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
Let her know, look, we always trying to make it. I know it's quarantined. I know, COVID done got everybody shaking.
Yeah.
I said, but you got to be a person that values the work you put out. Then she tried to hit me. Well, I'm not a professional. I really got to. No. Once you take money, you're a professional.
Oh yeah. Once you sign that contract, once you got a contract, yeah.
Yeah. You are a professional. So once I talked to her real nicely, we came to a solution. Mm-hmm. But my daughter said, Mama, see, she wasn't even listening to me like she did. I said, but so every now and then you got to go and bail them out.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I understand that, and I definitely appreciate your transparency and everything. So let me ask you this: what was it like with the boys? What's it like with them?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Leon. God has graced me with some good children.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a run-in with the police, the jails, the gangs, but that God has really, my oldest son, he's 31, that's the one that did 10.5 years in the Marines. Mm-hmm. And he's a college student. My second son, he's 29, he's a caretaker. And Omega, youth leader, on the football team, been working since he was 15. My boys, they're some focused kids. They don't want drama. They didn't see, and I got to say, I just believe God just gave me some. It was a good bunch. It was a good bunch.
Yeah.
Of kids. I really have to say that my mom, before she passed last year, we didn't really have a good relationship, but she did. We mended some things right before she died. But she's always tell my sister. My sister goes, she said, I don't know how she do it, but Tasha don't play with them kids, and them kids don't play with her. I don't care if she's home. I don't care what. They're always respectful. I said, you know why? Because I don't play with my kids. I didn't do a lot of things because that's how I wasn't raised.
Yeah.
But my kids know. You keep Leon. You might know. The look. Remember the look your parents used to give you back in the day?
Oh yeah. I remember that look. My mom. Yeah, go ahead.
See, I worked the look. I told my kids, I tell people when I'm about to write a parenting guide, you can't wait till they're 15 to do the look. You got to do the look when they won. You got to scare them up when they little kids. So back then, the look, I'm like, and I always tell my kids, you will not embarrass me like you're not raised. You're not. I said, the kids that act up are the kids that's been abused, neglected, and something. I said, you're not getting abused. You're not being. So I'd be dirty. You go out and show. You know how? Yeah. You know how when your mom and your lips get all tight. If you go out and embarrass me my twin.
Yeah.
And I think I just raised them on old morals, old traditions.
That's good.
And yeah.
That's real good. So let me ask you this. How was it when they started dating?
But I do know that the boys is different. Boys don't bring nobody home until they like them. You can't have a girl. I'd be like, oh, he got a girlfriend? Oh, Lord, Mama, no. Don't you say that? Ain't nobody coming to meet you too. I know. And so boys are different. Girls would be, oh, Mama, here go my boyfriend, And it's like, oh, okay. So boys, I didn't know. Boys really don't introduce girls to their moms unless they think it's something serious. They would go out and meet the girls. They would, and then my son said, Mama, no, you're likable. So I don't need no girl starting like you, and you liking her, and I know I'm not feeling her.
Yeah.
So you won't meet her. She's not the one. So it's just different, but they are really respectful guys. Even Omega, like I said, he'd be 18, but if I think I hear him on the phone saying he likes somebody, I'm like, Omega, you got your little girlfriend? And he looked at me, oh my God, this is why I don't tell nobody. No, I don't, Mother. She's just a friend, Mother.
Yeah.
You got to act all like that, brother. So it's a difference. I do see males. So even in my grown life, I'm like, oh. So guys really, a guy, as you probably attest this, if it's serious, you're gonna meet family members and friends. If it's not serious, you ain't gonna meet nobody.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
That's what I learned with my boys.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. I also see, man. I know my youngest son. Oh my God, this girl got his nose open. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He was getting up early in the morning. I mean, get himself all fresh up. I mean, black and gold. He got on his smell good. I'm like, boy, you smell like a French whore this morning. And I mean, yeah. I mean, during this time, kept his hair cut and everything. I'm like, man. I was like, man, this is...
Yeah. My ex-husband had said when Omega was about 10, and now he's like, we got to tell him to take a bath. He said, that's going to stop when he started noticing girls start noticing. When he got 8th grade, and he did just like you said, how your son. I'm like, oh, he's like, you ain't got to tell no more till that child do you. I said, oh. Walking out of here like he chewing the magazine. He's like, yeah, the girls gonna start paying attention.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah. Oh my God.
He was like, I told you that was gonna happen with a boy. Oh yeah. Yeah. You'll know when they even know the girls paying attention to them. Their whole demeanor change. They smell like Irish soap, cologne, shaving cream, and everything.
Exactly. I ain't gotta fight with them to get to the bus stop.
I ain't gotta fight.
That was the main thing. I'm like, boy, will you hurry up, get out this house? Man, shoot, he was hurry up running out that house when that girl had him. But man, Doc, I just want to say, can you tell us about how did you get that Mother of the Year? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, somebody nominated me. So American Mothers Inc. is an 85-year-old organization. Now, they started this organization with the Eleanor Roosevelt, J.C. Penney, women of that era in that time. They started they chose one, I guess people send nominations in around the world. And so they would choose one woman to represent that state as Mother of the Year. Okay. And then out of those 50 plus women for that year that represent the individual state, then they would choose one of them to make United States history to become National Mother of the Year. And I was chosen as Georgia Mother of the Year. And then I got a call weeks later saying, the board of directors, everybody was on the Zoom. I didn't know what happened? Did something go wrong with Georgia Mother of the Year? They was like, because I had got an email. Dr. Holden, we would like to, the board of directors had a few more questions to ask you. They was tricking me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what? And next thing I know, it was like 20 people, all the board members and other state mothers. And Dr. Holden, we would like to congratulate you on being 2020 National Mother of the Year. You have just made United States history as the 85th woman to ever hold that title.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, wow. That is, 12 years ago, I was a homeless woman. No one knew me. to make United States history by a national organization. See, that's why I didn't get off track with my man. Only he can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing in my life that a guy could have done for me. God did. Okay.
No, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead. Come on, we can take him to church.
I'm trying to hold back.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We can go to church. Take him to church.
when you take, we talking about a 12-year period to being on people living in a boarding house as a squatter.
Mm-hmm.
On I wasn't getting welfare back then because they cut off years, but getting food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make it as a full-time student, living in a boarding house. 12 years later, now I'm representing the millions of mothers around the world and the United States history.
Wow.
You can't tell. It ain't nothing a human man could have did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't sell out along my journey, because God had showed me He was with me every step. And I knew I wanted to give that up just to have a one night of pleasure or try to get ahead when God had showed me He was right there with me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Only God could take a former high school dropout to a doctorate level degree. Only God can take me from not being no one to on a ballot. My daughter and I, when it came time to vote in 2017, when we walked out of the voting poll, she looked at me, she said, that was so surreal. I checked your name off on a ballot.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing a human guy that could have did that. And I wasn't going to turn my back on the man that been with me from day one in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I was able to maintain my integrity the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Wow, man, Doc, thank you. I ain't gonna lie, I got tears in my eyes just listening to you and everything, because I mean, it's amazing because your testimony is so great and how you just trust in God. Because I'm not gonna lie, people when they don't hear God, when it don't look the way they think it should look, they stop trusting in God. But you trusted in God for years. This wasn't just no weekend, month thing. It was years.
No. When I knew He was with me, come on, you gotta think about it, Leon. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
I didn't have no connections. If somebody's listening, well, I don't know. I didn't have no connections. Whoever's listening, I didn't have no connections. Meaning, I didn't know anybody that could have changed my life around. Yeah. I didn't know nobody that sat at high places. I was a welfare mother at 35 with a GED and underemployed with 6 kids. I didn't have the money. So somebody was saying, well, I didn't have the money. Every book that I've written and published, I learned how to self-publish. I didn't have the money to market. So I didn't worry about what, God, if I write a book, who's going to buy it? I didn't worry about that.
Yeah.
I just began to, you know what, this is on my heart. This is what I'm going to do. I'm trying to send a message out to help kids, to help parents, whoever the book was for at that time. I just would trust God. So whoever's going, but I didn't have money, and God is showing. That's why I think He did it with me. He's trying to show people you could be 35, 40, 55. You don't have to know nobody. You don't have to have money. You don't have to have connections. If you got me, I'll take you to the top. Yeah. And only God could have taken a homeless woman to National Mother of the Year and made the United States. Only He could have done that.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. Because I think what's coming to me right now is that scripture that says that God will open up a door that no man can close.
Yes, sir.
So I so appreciate your story. So Doc, tell us, how can people get a hold of you? Can you tell us about some of the services, that you offer and everything, and tell people how they can grab hold of your book and also even sow into your nonprofit?
Yeah, well, I'm for profit.
Okay.
So, so I'm for profit. So okay. I'm an inspirational speaker. If you're looking for an awesome speaker, I do coaching sessions and I do personal and professional development workshops.
Okay.
So you can go on my website, www.dr.LaTarsha, LaTarsha Holden, HOLDEN.info. So it's www.drlatarshaholden.info. If you want more information about, myself, my books are on there if you want to order. So yeah, I'm here for coaching. I coach people around the world, and I'm looking for dynamic speakers that can help motivate and inspire your audience. I'm the person. Go ahead and book me, and I'm so excited. Leon, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
you can also email me at LaTarsha Holden at yahoo.com or contact me at 404-838-9587.
Wow. Thank you, Doc. I'm serious. Let me ask you this. This is just off the wall. This is just off the wall. Is there any chance any chance that God gonna talk to you about starting a church?
Well, I was the first lady in pastor with my ex-husband. And so, and I'm just trying to see. I want to be in, because we could do a good thing and it's not a God thing.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure I'm in line with the right timing. God. So right now, I'm more of an outreach person.
Okay.
I love outreach ministry. I love going out into where the homeless at and sitting with them and talking. So if you do, I believe it might be an outreach ministry, because I like to be hands-on, because I resonate so well with the rejected, the down and out, downtrodden. So I believe if right now what I'm doing, I consider it outreach ministry, but I'm open for wherever direction he's going to take me into.
Okay, all right, because I ain't gonna lie, Doc. Let me. Here's another off-the-wall question: do you flow in the prophetic?
Yes.
Okay, I felt that. I picked it. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm talking to a prophetess.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? At first I used to be scared because I don't play about that. And then when I was in college, he's like, "You own it. You own it. Just keep saying." I'm like, cause I'm an empath and I'm an inspirationalist naturally.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure it's not me. Just want to encourage. I'm an encourager, so I try to make sure it's not me until people say you right on it. Just so now my confidence is building, because I'm like, that's a title or position or office you don't play with. That's to me. You just don't go around saying God said this and that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do flow in the prophetic.
Yeah, because I think the thing is that you inspire people, you speak into their lives. You have the gift of impartation. And the thing is that, the Bible says that the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus. And the thing that you have is you got so many testimonies about how Jesus saved you, how Jesus healed you. And so when people hear that, not only did you overcome, but they overcome by the words of your testimony, because it gives them possibility.
Well, if I could share a 2-second example to go with that.
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Okay. Last year in August, I asked for confirmation from God. I said, God, if you're calling me to, if I feel that I'm being led to be an inspirational speaker, I said, but give me a sign that I'm on the right track. So I went on LinkedIn. After I made that request to God, I didn't think no more. I went on LinkedIn and I posted a picture of myself with my degrees, and I just posted from homelessness to overcomers, little snippet, ramp city councils, and that I'm an inspirational speaker. That's it. Within 3 months, I had 500,000 views, and people around the world contacted me.
Wow.
But one lady, I will never forget, she was a Caucasian lady in Illinois. She said, Dr. Holden, I just ran across your post. She said, I want you to know that I have my PhD, I have a loving husband, and I have 2 awesome kids. She said, but my husband and I lost our jobs a few months ago, and we've been living off our savings because we had a pretty large income coming in. She said, but we won't be able to do that for long. She said, but Dr. Holden, I ran across your post. She said, I immediately started to think, what if I didn't have a supportive husband? I didn't have my degrees, and I had 4 more children, and we were homeless. She said, your story changed me and changed my perspective, and I always remember you for the rest of my life. That's when I knew God had gave me my confirmation. Here was a well-to-do Caucasian lady who probably on a normal circumstance would probably look my way.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real. A little black girl down in Atlanta who was homeless. But God used me to change her perspective about her situation. And so for me, that was my confirmation that I'm on the right track, like you said, as inspiring and encouraging people about my journey.
Wow, that's, man, Doc. I'm telling you, pretty soon you're gonna be booking. They're gonna be booking you years in advance. Watch. Watch.
Well,
I'm
that's
serious.
my goal. I always say I'm coming up as the Dr. Holden, like the next Lisa Nichols.
Yes.
That Lisa Nichols is where I'm. Yeah, that's the person. I'm gonna be the next Lisa Nichols. So, yeah. I'd love to meet her one day.
Oh yeah, you definitely gonna do that. You gonna meet her. You gonna end up meeting Dr. Venus Opal Reese and everything. And the thing is that all you got to do is just be you, because you're very relatable. You engage the culture, and you inspire, and that's what people need. Because the thing is that you made the determination that you will not be broken. And I appreciate that. I love that. And so it's a whole lot of broken women that need to hear your message of healing and restoration. So, God is going to, use you to go out here and mend a lot of women, help women that are broken get back up and be healed and go on. So don't be surprised. You start, people start, you're going to end up having a group of women and girls that are going to start following you, and you're going to start pouring into them, and they're going to be your spiritual daughters, and you're going to instill in them what you gave to your kids, and they're going to go out and do what you did.
Yes, that's my passion.
Yeah,
that's my passion. I am the phoenix who has risen from the ashes. Now I'm aiding others to change the narrative of their lives.
Yes, you definitely that. So, Doc, I just want to say thank you. Doc, again, can you give us all your information, how people can follow you on social media, the website, the books?
Yes. So I'm all on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you're looking for a speaker or coach or workshop facilitator, go to my website, www.LaTarsha, Holden, HOLDEN.com. That's Dr. LaTarsha Holden. I'm sorry, not .com. I'm so used to .info. So it's drlatarshaholden.info. My number, if you want to book a coaching session, 404-838-9587. Or you can email me, LaTarshaHolden@yahoo.com.
All right. Thank you for that, Doc. I so appreciate you. We definitely got to talk again. So, you are definitely phenomenal, a virtuous woman, a classy woman, and you are definitely a woman who's going to be in high demand. I see great things for you in God, and I see riches and wealth pouring into you like never before. That's the God knows truth.
Well, I receive that, Leon. It's been a long time coming, so I do receive that in Jesus' name.
Oh yeah, Doc, you deserve it. You deserve it. I'm telling you, you have remained faithful and you overcame. So, I just see that for you. So with that being said, Doc, I just want to say have a blessed day.
Thank you, and same to you.
All right. You be blessed. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, listeners, that was Dr. LaTarsha Holden. I can't wait to upload this episode. I'm serious, because the one thing you got to realize is that God is more than able. He is more than able, and he will reward you trusting in him. He will reward your faithfulness, and he will reward the fact that you overcame. And when you listen to her testimony, you will see how she overcame. And you can overcome because she overcame, because she trusted in God. And God is no respecter of person. If God can open up a door for Dr. Holden, God can open up a door for you. So, listeners, with that being said, guys, I want you guys to be blessed, and I want you guys to understand and know that this is the time, that this is the season. Now faith is. And I want you guys to see and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can be the miracle, and that all things are possible to him that believes.
walk in the truth that makes you free every day. Follow Brother Leon on all social media outlets.